I'm good. I'm good. You look great. It's great to be talking to you. I wish it was later on and not like now.
Same, same. I wish it was final too, but
Right?
okay. It's okay.
First and foremost, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How's everything?
I'm feeling actually okay. I really am because I played this game before. I know how it works. I know that if you're not going to win this game, it's okay if you go out pre-jury because I have a beautiful life to go back to, and I just feel blessed and grateful to have even ever played, in an all-star series. So I'm okay. But this week was interesting. So
Yeah, where to start? I mean, what a night last night and this whole week in that house, emotions running high. How do you keep a cool head in this game when you don't know like when to sleep when someone's talking to someone else or when to breathe or when to have a combo? Like, I didn't even know how you guys do it. Props for just being able to do something like this. It's incredible.
thank you. It's literally a game of mental gymnastics, and it's so funny. I have a joke every time I take a nap. Something crazy happens. Every time I take a nap, I'm either going on the block or there's a miraculous plan to get me off the block. Like every time I take a nap. So you don't sleep in the house. Your mind is going 24/7. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Like that game is intense for so many reasons.
Did you get any sleep last night? Any, like an hour maybe?
No, I really didn't. And I was like, I'm gonna sleep. Good. It's gonna be great. I'm out of there. I literally 3 a.m. and I haven't been able to sleep. I know. It's okay. I'll sleep soon. It'll be over.
All right.
Yeah.
There's so many questions. I want to just dive kind of right
No,
in.
dive in. I'm a straight
Okay.
shooter. Come on.
Looking back, was telling Christmas that Davon was your number one, was that a mistake?
Um, Not really. If I'm being completely honest, not really, because it might have been given her a reason or she thinks she could have had a cool speech. The decision was made before that conversation was done. I am very aware, and now I've gotten to put the pieces together with her committee alliance. That was a move that was going to be made regardless. So as much as she wants to say, you slipped up, no, sis, you had your mind made up and you made your move. And I hope, like you feel like it was the right one.
You get some info from Tyler. You have a
Yeah.
combo with Dani. The whole house is turned upside down. Were you
Yeah.
worried at all going into that moment? And what went through your mind having that conversation? Because you were just being real with Dani, and she's kind of looking at you like, oh.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part because sometimes you have to just choose. Like for me, I have to be true to myself no matter what. And I try to maneuver in the game, in a good way, but I can't be a lion manipulating, kissing butt person. That's not my style. And I know that that's probably why people do a little bit better at the game than me. But it is what it is. I had to tell it like it is. And I feel like Dani didn't expect to be caught up in her lies. And I don't think Tyler expected to be caught up in his sabotage. And so I clocked it all. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine. And I feel like I was true to myself. So at least I'm not on here, compromising my character and having to explain my integrity when I get off the show.
Tell me what goes through your mind the minute you hear it's Devon, Bayleigh on the block together.
I literally smiled. I smiled at the eviction. And as soon as my face popped up, I smiled because Devon and I were laughing and joking like, all right, we know that it's going to happen. We know that people are going to put us up together, but who is going to be dumb enough to do it? And the fact Christmas, I just could not help but just laugh. Like, I'm like, okay, this is funny. This is hysterical.
Now, Tyler did have a moment with you guys last night, and we're watching it on TV, and everyone's gripping, going, wow, he comes in and he's basically saying, look, I will throw my game away. I will try to convince Christmas to put me up. She's got the veto, da-da-da-da. Was he being sincere? Because it looked, when we were watching it, it looked like he was like about to break down going, I did some bad things in this and I want to kind of, like, what do you have to say about that?
I think it was sincere, but with the safety net. Let's do that. Sincere with the safety net, because he did want to go home. Who does that benefit? Tyler. He misses Angela like crazy. He was sorry. He did sabotage me. He's, clearing his conscience so that if I do stay in the house, he has a clear conscience and he can move forward. He's saying he wants to sacrifice his game for us, but he knows that his number one in the game is up at HOH. So it's a lot of stuff, and maybe he wasn't sincere about it, but it was all sincere for himself. It wasn't sincere on our behalf. I don't think he was like, I feel like a terrible person, I'm throwing my game away for Bayleigh. I think that he's like, yeah, that sounds good, but I still get some stuff out of it.
Now, there was a point where you said to Christmas, well, if everything's out there, let's just say who our ride or die is. And she was like, she shut it down. I was,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
was really afraid to let that news out.
She was, and she looked guilty, and I was just smiling because I'm like, girl, you look guilty. So she's playing herself. She's playing herself, and I think she thought that she was the only one that could play. You want to play dirty? I can play dirty too. I just choose not to.
Now, again, we're watching it. I almost missed a work meeting because they're trying to call me. And I'm like, shh, I'm watching Big Brother. And there was a moment where, you know, you're walking in on Christmas and Davon, they're talking, and then it gets heated. And then you and Christmas have words. And I'm ignoring my phone because I want to watch what's going on. What was the origin of that whole disagreement for those that kind of caught it halfway and weren't fully paying attention and just saw sparks?
Yes, it was intense. And you know what? I was at the center of the origin. I'm like, I come out of the dining room. I'm having a great day. I'm looking at the kitchen. It's clean. And I see Davon and Christmas fighting. So I'm running to the bathroom to be a good friend, to be like, okay, let me mediate. Let me, calm down the situation. And then to my surprise, I'm like, what are y'all fighting about? And they're like, you. And I'm like, oh God, so I was just in the center of it. I appreciate Devon for being such a loyal friend. And I love that because as I'm running to her defense, she's already at my defense. And I don't, I don't appreciate the way that Christmas handled Devon. I don't appreciate the way that Christmas handled me in the conversation, but I'm very proud of the way that Devon walked away. And I'm very proud of the way that I just maintained my cool because I wasn't going there with Christmas. And now that I've actually gotten to see the clip, I'm so glad that I didn't go there. I didn't give her an ounce of my energy or my time because she was in a different place. And I think that that would have set me up for failure.
That kind of leads to my next question is, how do you feel the general energy towards one another was in the house this season?
You mean towards people, like everybody towards each other?
Yeah.
It was so hard because I will say this. So we knew that there was an eruption coming. It was an eerie stillness. And I think at one point, Julie said, I can cut the tension with a knife. She was not lying. It's been weeks of just like hesitation because we do genuinely, everybody got along and everybody was, friendly, but everybody knew, hey, we got some cutthroat people in this house. There's some badass competitors here and things are going down. So I think people were just waiting for the first eruption to happen. And I happen to be right at the center of it. And I don't think this is going to be the last eruption to happen in this house. This house is going to get ugly this season.
Watching things happen while playing this game, in your mind, was there any inner voice saying, why isn't blank or why aren't blank, blank, and blank like stepping up and playing this game and doing something? Because there are a few people that you're like, just kind of sitting back and watching things, but they're not really doing anything.
Yep. As far as gameplay in particular, I won't even talk about the people that are lying with me, but Kevin, I'm frustrated with his game because he wants to play floater, and this is not a floater season. So that's frustrating. David's game is a little frustrating for me because I knew he had a power. And then as I'm getting out and I confirm, okay, he has a power. I don't know what he's doing with his game. With Enzo, I want him to open his eyes because he thinks, Cody and him are like this, and Cody's all over the place. Cody is kind of spineless, so that kind of sucks. Just because his word means nothing. He's promised everybody everything. So there's just so many layers to what's going on in this house. I want Ian to open his eyes because he's being played like a fiddle. It's just a lot.
Is he okay? Because he sat out a competition last night. Is he doing all right? All we know is that he had to go talk to somebody and.
He is doing okay, but as everyone sees, Ian has extreme anxiety. So the things that happen in the house really affect him on a different level. So when he gets stressed out and he's not sleeping or he's not eating or he's not drinking, water, we're in LA, it's hot, things are going on. If he physically cannot compete, you can see the emotional toll that it's taking on his body. And I think that's a representation of how stressful this house really is.
Is there anything you want to mention or clear up that we may or may not have seen on the show or the live feeds? What do you want people to take away about Bayleigh from this season that maybe we saw, maybe we didn't,
I would just say as a whole, Bayleigh, as a person, has been evolving over the past 2 years, and I'm a totally different person and player than I was on Big Brother 20. just that my social cause this time around was way more valuable to me than the game, winning the game was. And I'm very happy that that was, seen, that I'll continue to be supporting, Black Lives Matter and educating people, in my experience, and that, I'm just genuinely grateful that people have decided to hear me this time around.
People want to know, where do you and Christmas stand? Where do you and Tyler stand? What do you want to give a couple comments on each?
Yes. So we'll start with Christmas. With Christmas, I have been just saying, I think she's ignorant to her own ignorance. So I think that when she gets out of this house, we'll have a conversation and I'll just let her know, hey, babe, this is where you went wrong. This is how, I feel. This is how, you might want to consider yada, yada, yada. And I don't mind having that conversation with her. I gave her a hug before I left. So
I
that's
saw
nice.
that. I was like,
there we go. I did, that's good.
I know.
Good. Yeah. And then with Tyler, I have given him the 5th and final opportunity to leave the drama in the Big Brother house. And that will be on him. If he decides to bring it out and continue to live in that world, I'm going to let him, fight with the wall, because I won't be there. But I am so willing. And I really hope that, Tyler can come back around and we can finally put all of this behind us.
Your ride or die Davon is still in this house. What does she have to do to move forward and to win All-Stars?
She has to lean on those promises. Dani promised her that she would never come for her in this game and that she'll be protecting her. Nicole promised that she would never come for her in this game and she'll be protecting her. Ian says he's not touching Devon. She also has Enzo, David, and Kevin that are willing and ready to ride with her because they need help and protection too. So what she needs to do is lean on the individual promises that she's gotten in this game, and she needs to win your first HOH, jumping on a veto, go for it. Like, this is your season.
How high are you going to jump out of your seat if she wins this game?
Oh, I literally will, my skin, you see that? I just got chills from you even saying that. First of all, I'm already obsessed with the girl and she don't have to win nothing for me to be jumping out of my seat. But if she wins this game, I'm falling on the floor, screaming. It's the most extra thing you've ever seen, because that would be so worth it. And I think me going home everything would be just worth it.
Now, me and a lot of diehards as well. There's the big Swaggy fandom. Obviously, you and Swaggy, and he's been on his social feeds. This guy's a smart dude. He's been working hard, celebrating the fruits of his labor. And listen, I don't know if he's already done what he was gonna do, but have you seen him since you've been out yet, or?
Nope, and don't tell me, because I'm so excited to see him. He is, as soon as I hang out with you, I get to call him for the first time since I've been out of the house.
Well, I'll just say that he's got something very special for you. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to wreck anything. I want you to enjoy what he's been telling people that you're going to see happen. And just, I can't wait to see what happens after that.
Me either. I'm so excited. Sway the gang. That's awesome. All right.
Now, before we let you go, there's just a couple of questions from fans because the fandom's going nuts. This one's from Mark. As much as Day is your friend in Ride or Die, did you ever think about campaigning a little harder against her?
No, and I purposely dialed back because I could have, but I could not have done that without possibly having her question my friendship or question, my intentions towards her. And I think that Davon's friendship is way more valuable. So I had to be like, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather go home and relax and let her play this game than for her to go back and watch a feed or see something that I possibly said that I didn't share with her that could have, ended in her going home this week. It's not worth it.
Ivita says, what's one thing you're going to take away about being in the house this season, your All-Star season? The one thing Bayleigh's going to take away from being in the house.
That is so hard. That is so hard. Just that Big All-Stars and Big Brother is a totally different game. They do not play. There is no feelings. There is no nothing. It is completely cutthroat. Like All-Stars is like, oh, if you think you can hang, you really, really can't hang during All-Stars.
And Michelle wants to know, would you and Davon do the Amazing Race as a team? Would you guys ever think of this one?
Yes, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. I was just thinking about Swaggy, but yes, Davon and I would definitely do the Amazing Race as a team, and we would be a bomb-ass team. Yes. Oh my God. Duh.
It was awesome watching you this season. Listen, go talk to your man, have a good conversation. Thank you for talking to me, and I can't wait to, I don't want to wreck anything, but go and talk to your man.
Okay, thank you. It's good talking to you.